Connectedness balances the excesses of individualism in the diversity principle. The first step in connectedness is forming pairs, like kinship pairs, with multiple other agents who also pair with others. The next step is creating or expanding networks of these connections. The final step is making sure these networks are interacting with the networks of other agents, both within your system and in others. Interaction is the principle that provides the energy and spirit of communication to power the system. This principle facilitates the flow of living knowledge. For this, you must be transferring knowledge and energy and resources with as many other agents as possible, rather than trying to store it individually. If the world ever experiments with an actual free market rather than an oligopoly, this would be the perfect system to facilitate sustainable interactions. Knowledge, value, and energy in truly sustainable networks of interaction are prevented from remaining static and unchanging by the final protocol. Adaptation is the most important protocol of an agent in a sustainable system. You must allow yourself to be transformed through your interactions with other agents and the knowledge that passes through you from them. This knowledge and energy will flow through the entire system in feedback loops, and you must be prepared to change so that those feedback loops are not blocked. An agent that is truly adaptive and changing is open to sudden eruptions of transformation, in which the agent may temporarily take on the role of a strange attractor and facilitate chain reactions of creative events within the system. You can see these principles embedded throughout Aboriginal culture. I can see many of them just looking at our first-person pronouns. In English, these are I or me and we or us. In Aboriginal languages, there are many more, including pronouns that are translated as I myself, we too, we but not others, and we all together. Repeating the plural ones twice can mean, it's up to us. But repeating I twice can mean, I go my own way. There is a balance between self-definition and group identity. These two are not contradictory, but entwined, and there are names for all the roles you occupy as an agent of complexity in Aboriginal society. You perform these roles alone, in pairs, in exclusive groups, and in networked groups. Our languages are expressions of land-based networks and facilitate communication across all of these individual nodes and collectives of nodes within and between systems. In Aboriginal English, there is a very useful term to help us draw lines in the sand between these roles, asserting both boundaries and connections. The word is lookout, a term I believe we originally borrowed from Cockneys, which is not a warning, but refers to a person's appropriate sphere of influence and accountability. If a person is being pushy and expecting you to get involved with his frantic business in an effort to control you, you might say, that's not my lookout, or nah, that's your lookout. Your lookout encompasses all of your reasonable obligations and activities within your pairs, groups, and wider networks. By reasonable, I mean any tasks that reflect the other protocols of a sustainability agent, leaving you free to be different from others, receive and transfer knowledge, and transform in response to shifting contexts, while acting as a custodian and defender of these things. You have to keep moving, both as a strange attractor and as a sustainability agent. If you are following the 4 protocols of working within the pattern, little systems of vibrant complexity will spring up around you, and other strange attractors will draw you into their amazing webs. These will attract other agents, but they will also attract narcissists in droves. You need to insulate yourself against these entropic elements, but you also have a responsibility to help them. We have looked at Emu Story, but it's also worth looking at stories from the Northern Hemisphere to discern the patterns of narcissism that prevent the functioning of sustainable systems. The word narcissist comes from a Greek story about Narcissus, a man who fell in love with his own reflection in the water. A girl called Echo was in love with him, but she was cursed to hang around and only repeat his words forever. This is what you find with these narcissist flash mobs. One loud person will start shouting silly things and attract followers who repeat those things without thought. Not all strange attractors are benevolent. Narcissism isn't incurable though. Survivors of this plague emerge without any memory of who they really are. needing support to begin again and relearn the nature of their existence, their purpose for being here. They are like children, and leaving them to their own devices at this stage is not advisable. Entire cultures and populations recovering from this plague have been left like orphan children with no memories of who they are, longing for a pattern they know is there but can't see. They grow up eventually, but it takes a long time if they have no assistance. There are so many adolescent cultures in the world right now, reaching for the stars without really knowing what they are. Adolescent cultures always ask the same three questions. Why are we here? How should we live? What will happen when we die?